The NCAA championships continuing, a regional semifinal action from Minneapolis. And our first semi of the night, Florida State and Purdue. And let's check out our impact players. Ariel Turner of Purdue, Kate Stepanova of Florida State. And for Turner, what a year it's been, the Big Ten Player of the Year.
Yeah, she has been carrying a huge load, 3 times as many swings and 1,000 more swings than the next attacker on her team. So the question is she fresh enough? Is she healthy enough to carry this team? If she is, they've got a long way they can go in this tournament. Across the net, of course, Kate Stepanova has done impact, has been a real impact player for her team in so many ways. Both these hitters are left side hitters. They have to take good sets and a lot of junk too and make something out of nothing. And Stepanova is great at hitting all the shots, all the speeds, all the locations.
We will play best 3 of 5 sets with rally scoring. There's a point on every serve. If we get to a 5th set, that is just a 15 points. The other sets will be all to 25. Have to win by 2. And you can make 12 substitutions per set.
And interesting, in the Florida State offense, they run a 2-setter offense known as a 6-2, 6 hitters, 2 setters. That substitution rule that you see on your screen, the 12 per set, could come into play if any of these sets, any of these games goes into overtime, because you got to win by 2. They could run out at some point, and then we'll see what strategy they're locked into.
Florida State in the garnet and gold, Purdue in the white and black. Duygu Düzçeler, the junior from Turkey, one of 4 foreign players in the starting lineup for Florida State. Very much an international flavor. Đorđević, the senior from Serbia, gets the first point.
And both their left side hitters are very cagey. You saw her slap the ball down the sideline that way, hitting the line. That was what was left open. Ariel Turner, on the other hand, she's pretty patterned to go cross court. Let's see if she can mix it up if she gets another set here.
One of the keys for Dave Shondell, he told us yesterday, was to contain those outside hitters for Florida State. They have a distinct size advantage at the net. Purdue hoping they can win with some quickness and defense. Rybarczyk able to drop one over the top.
Oh, I really like that choice by Rybarczyk to take a little something off. It's like an off-speed pitch in baseball, and that area in the court is almost always wide open. Good choice by her. 9th
year for Dave Shondell, the Big Ten Coach of the Year. 5 times he's been better than 20 wins. A win tonight gets him 30 on the season. Point Purdue.
And he gives a lot of credit to his staff. Of course, it's nice to have your brother on your staff. Maybe somebody sometimes will stand up to you a little more and say, you know what, I think you're out of your mind with that decision.
Got his brother John over there on the sideline. The Fighting Shondells of Muncie, Indiana, very well known. Their dad, Don, a legendary coach in Indiana, and their brother Steve also coaching. He's at Ball State now.
And they faced each other earlier this year on Purdue's home floor.
3-1 early for Purdue. Getting the kill is Ashley Neff, the 6'3" sophomore from Kennesaw, Georgia, one of 6 players at 6'2" or better on the floor for Chris Poole tonight in his 4th season, 4 consecutive 20-win seasons. And in their 2nd round win, he picked up his 100th win at Florida State and the 650th win of his coaching career.
Yeah, he's really done a fantastic job with Florida State, making some conscious decisions when the cupboard was a little bare as he arrived to go after some foreign players who were looking to transfer from one college to another, but now getting some American recruiting classes, including one of the top 4 for next year, 2012. Well, that's a nice adjustment by Ariel Turner on that last play. She hit the ball off the right forearm of number 1, Rachel Morgan, the blocker for Florida State. Turner is going to need to hit all the areas of the court, be a lot less patterned. And there's one of those KG shots you'd see from Stepanova. The roll shot, but Purdue read it very well.
Back out to Stepanova. In transition for Purdue. A net violation against Florida State.
So far, it looks like these two teams know each other pretty well. It's tough to put the ball down directly to the floor. It could take a fourth, a fifth, a sixth swing. The more patient team's going to be the one to succeed tonight.
These are both top 15 blocking teams in the country. Even those they don't roof, they're getting a piece of it, slowing it down pretty well. A touch there for Purdue, so a point Florida State, and Ashley Neff, their middle, getting some action early.
Yeah, she got the touch, the micro touch off the block apparently, but Coach Dave Shondell disagreeing with that one.
Purdue in white, and the kill for Tiffany Fisher, the senior from Topeka, Indiana.
She does a really nice job. You see how she comes flying out. That one-footed approach, that layup approach, creates space, and that time she took advantage of the line space.
Has become much more cagey as a hitter. Off speed that time on the tip. Peppers around, point Florida State. Elise Walsh, the 6'5" sophomore out of Stuart, Florida.
And certainly there's the misconnection, so good read, of course, by the libero for Florida State there. Katie Mosher to keep that play alive.
Redshirt freshman out of Fort Myers. Trying to go over on two, and the good stuff at the net by Saria Freeman.
And a lot of times you'd be surprised at how often middle blockers are caught surprised by that, but Freeman was not. She's all over the fact that Rachel Davis, the setter for Purdue, might attack with her left hand.
The ace from Sarah Wickstrom, she's their other setter in the 6'2" offense. All ACC freshman performer.
Yep, every time they rotate, she'll come in. Every time they rotate 3 times, she'll come in. So she's going to set the next 3 rotations.
She's been serving it pretty well. Back row attack and stuffed again at the net. Freeman, a 4-0 run here for FSU.
And it's interesting, Florida State chose to only put 1 blocker up, Freeman. You could get as many as 3 up, and it's maybe a dangerous thing to leave Turner one-on-one like that, but it paid off that time for Florida State. Good read by Wickstrom.
Walsh looking for the corner, and she got it. 5 unanswered for the Seminoles.
Coach Poole was saying what a cannon of an arm number 23 Elise Walsh has, and that time hitting a nice deep shot in the corner. Very rarely are defenders positioned there.
Mosher able to keep it alive. Free ball Purdue. A back set, sliding behind Robarczyk. And jumping on the overpass is Val Nickel, the freshman out of Normal, Illinois.
So you've seen several slides go to number 18 in white for Purdue, the middle blocker Tiffany Fisher, and they want to do that a lot. They want to run their offense behind the setter to take pressure off outside hitters like Ariel Turner.
Stepping over with a big swing. Walsh. Nickel got a piece of it. Point Purdue.
Both teams doing a pretty nice job of setting up their block and defense. And when you see how hard it is to put the ball away, it means they're picking good positions to line up the hitter.
Stepping over. Took a long run at it into the net. Point Purdue. Timeout called by Florida State. They struggle their setting with Wickstrom, their other setter, and Purdue taking advantage. Well, the 5-seed Purdue leading the 12-seed Florida State early in this first set here in the Minneapolis Regional. First round win over Morehead State for the Boilers, and then second round they knocked off Louisville 3-1. They hit 370 in that match. That's the best they've ever hit in an NCAA tournament game.
And I think a lot of that effective hitting was in sets 3 and 4. They got a little bit of a scare, and Louisville came back hard, tied the matchup 1-1 on Purdue's home floor. But if you want to go long in this tournament, you have to get challenged and face down a couple of strong teams to get the sense that you can fight through any adversity.
Point for Kiera Jones. Thus far, Karch, Purdue doing a good job of balancing their distribution. It's not all Ariel Turner early on.
And that's exactly what their plan was throughout this season. They have to take the pressure off Ariel Turner by opening up other spaces.
Wickstrom setting out wide to Stepanova, and they get the point.
Florida State's really been struggling since Wickstrom came, their second setter came in. She's only now into the middle back position. She came in to serve, but they were up by a couple and have given up many. We'll see. They've got to clean that aspect of their game up to have success against Purdue here.
Bumped over by Florida State. Wickstrom to Walsh, got it through the block. Picking it up is Turner on the roll.
Nice hustle.
Good work by Wickstrom to track it down, and then nobody up in the air against Kiera Jones.
Yeah, what's nice is we saw the other middle blocker, Tiffany Fisher, hitting all the way out to the sideline, but watch right here, number 12, Kiera Jones. She doesn't go very far behind the setter. Mixing up that spacing is giving her some extra area between blockers to attack. Good choice by Purdue.
Elise Walsh, she did a terrific job during her rotations up front. She'll rotate out. Wide from Wickstrom, point Purdue.
Coach Shundell was talking about how in round number 1 of the tournament, Barczyk only got 4 sets, maybe 2 kills, 2 errors, and he was asking his setter, Rachel Davis, well, how do we keep her in rhythm if we only give her 4? We got to get her going, and they did that much better in round 2. Expect her to get plenty of attempts tonight.
Djurdjevic gets the kill. One of those transfers came in from Tulane, and now her second year in the program. Chris Poole calls her the heart and soul of this team.
Yeah, but she's got so much range. So that time you saw her hit very hard cross-court wrist away. The first kill we saw her put away was down the line.
Djurdjevic, where they once again getting in better sync with their starting setter.
Yep, and putting up a nice one-on-one block. Florida State feels comfortable leaving Djurdjevic alone against her Barczyk out there.
Had 2 up to block that time. Back to Ariel Turner. Block was able to slow it down. Dushchelar sets the middle. Turner with the tip. Good get. Into the antenna. Point Purdue.
Turner finding it hard to get the ball to the floor, but I like her patience. She's, again, keeping the ball in, not trying to force it when the ball doesn't fall to the floor the first 1 or 2 or 3 attempts she has in any given round. As opposed to that swing, where Stepanova was trying to make more something out of nothing. That was a bit of a trouble set, and she was trying to make the kill out of it, and instead gives an instant point to the opposition.
15-12, Purdue early on. And the player wearing the opposite color jersey is the libero. Cannot attack, can serve and defend. Turner, 2 on the block, point Purdue.
Turner working it around. That's twice now we've seen her notch a kill off the right hand, the outside hand of the opposing end blocker. Good choice.
We'll take a timeout. Purdue leading Florida State in our opening set, 16-12. Purdue with the lead over Florida State. The set is to 25. You have to win by 2, and we'll play best 3 out of 5 sets. Ariel Turner with 3 kills. Got Barczyk with 3 kills to lead the way for Purdue. And Elise Walsh, 3 kills for Florida State. Stepanova was the big gun in their opening round win against Albany with 16 kills, and then the come-from-behind thriller in the 5th set in the 2nd round to knock out Cincinnati.
The complete opposite of a year ago. We were watching the stream. They were up 13-9 to Florida on Florida's floor, the #1 seed in the whole tournament, and let that lead slip away. So a nice turnaround for Florida State. That bad taste in their mouth motivated them all through the spring.
And ironically enough, after they let Florida off the hook, the Gators then met Purdue, and the Boilermakers knocked out the #1 seed. Florida, a nice story this year. They're back home with a chance for some redemption, playing Michigan later tonight in Gainesville, in the same regional with Illinois and Ohio State. It's the Big Ten +1 down in Gainesville.
Yeah, it almost seems like Florida's better positioned this year than when they were the #1 seed last year. Almost lost to Florida State, did lose to Purdue in round 2, round 3.
5 unanswered here for the Boilermakers to jump on top, make it 6 in a row. As Purdue has taken charge.
You can see Florida State's alignment. Their libero, #2 there, chasing the ball down on the right of your screen, is out of the middle of the court. She only gets to stand along the right sideline, so Purdue has 2 other passers to get to aim their serves at.
That one missed wide from Tiffany Fisher, point Florida State.
The way Florida State runs its offense, they only get to have that libero standing in the middle of the court to receive serve and shore up the pattern twice out of the 6 times, the 6 different rotations.
Djurdjevic back to serve for the ACC champions. Florida State has won 20 of their last 22 matches. Their lone connection to Purdue, they got swept by Michigan in a regular season matchup. They got a taste of the Big Ten. Off the free ball, Purdue goes to Turner.
Well, I think Turner's wise to go line. She's either hitting it off the block, or you can see Duschelard cheating up. She plays defense much shallower, and that's a tough position to control a hard-driven ball from. So Turner, well served, getting most of her kills down the line.
They'll be tough to beat if she's hitting 300, which she's doing thus far. Turner with 5 kills. The back set away from Turner, and they use her as the decoy there and go to Fisher.
And that's exactly what Purdue wants to do. They want to the best pattern is no pattern. And if you don't know where the ball's going to go, then you're much more off balance as blockers. And so that time it goes behind to Tiffany Fisher. Easy kill, one-on-one.
Kudos to setter Rachel Davis, by the way. Her team hitting 306 so far in this first set.
And Coach Shondell gives her huge props. She came in a year ago when they were very close to making the national semifinals, playing against Texas and giving Texas a big scare on Texas's home floor. But Jacqueline Hart, their #1 setter, starting setter, got hurt, and Davis came in, and she knew she needed to be. She wasn't able to set the middle very well, so she's worked on that for 9 months, and you can see the result, the connection with Fisher and Turner.
Fisher and Robarchuk with 7 kills combined out of their middles in this first set. Turner, their top weapon, gets dug up. Back to Stepanova. Davis tried to play it straight over. Turner rejected. Good block by Ashley Neff. She touches 10-4 on a women's net that's 7 feet.
And she's averaging over a block and a half. You can see her reach with her left hand there. She's averaging over a block and a half per game. She's going to need to do that a lot. She's going to get a lot of opportunities. Turner hits at her when she's hitting cross court.
They've got a couple of players that average over 1 per set. An errant swing from Purdue, point Florida State. And they've rattled off 4 in a row, and they are now within 4. Well, for volleyball, we'll talk a little football. The NCAA FCS Championship continues tomorrow with quarterfinals. It's Montana State and Sam Houston State. That comes your way at noon on ESPN. Then volleyball regional championship coverage. A quadruple header for you that starts at 4:30 on ESPNU, all 4 of the regional finals. For more information, visit ncaa.com, your home for all 89 NCAA championships. And we are getting closer, Karch, to crowning a new national champion in women's volleyball. The 4-time defending champs, Penn State, in serious trouble tonight, playing UCLA in Lexington, Kentucky. They've already lost 2 sets. They're down in the third.
Down 11-5 in the third. We learned last year never to count Penn State out, so
that's right.
We'll wait until that last serve goes down. Seen some amazing comebacks over the years, but this is the worst it has looked for Penn State in 5 years. Remember, they were down 2-0 to Texas a couple of years ago in a fantastic championship match, but came out of the break really strong. They came out of this break, and they're still down by 5 points now, 11-6.
A Penn State team that was tied with this Purdue club and Illinois, a 3-way tie for second place behind Nebraska this year in the Big Ten Conference. Nebraska stunned at home by Kansas State in the second round, so Nebraska is out. And now the possibility that Penn State might fall as well tonight. It was a wild Friday night last year. Remember, the top 2 seeds were both eliminated, and a couple of coaches almost got into fisticuffs after a game out in Seattle.
And who would have predicted that a year later, neither of those coaches would be coaching in round 3. Stunning developments last week with, on this very court, Washington getting up to a 2-0 lead against Minnesota and then losing in 5.
It was Jim McLaughlin out at Washington and John Cook at Nebraska.
2 of the premier programs in the country, both of whom coaches have NCAA championships, NCAA titles. Walsh crushing the line there. That's a good choice by her. She needs to not just hit cross court, taking what the blocker gave her that time.
6 unanswered here for Florida State, with Duschlar setting in their 6-2 attack.
Boy, that kills you as a coach. When you get on a string like that, it means the other team is reeling. They're struggling to get a point, to get the ball to your side of the floor. So make them earn it. Serve the ball over the net and in the court. Don't let them off the hook.
Duschlar sets the middle, and Ashley Neff gets the kill.
Who knows how many more Morgan would have been able to score on her serving turn. Now again, the setting change comes in. And the last time, Wickstrom came in and scored some points on her serve, but then they gave up a bunch once Purdue won that serve back.
Opening set in our best of 5, have to get to 25, win by 2. Turner tips out of the back row. Wickstrom looking for Walsh.
Ooh, that's a nice set by Fisher.
Wow.
Great job by the middle blocker. You don't expect her to put up such a hittable ball that time. Scramble play. Watch, back set, blind, and she puts it in such a great spot for Nickel. Remember that play as if Purdue goes on to win this. That was pivotal.
2 points away from taking the opening set. Florida State pulls within 2. Stepanova serving. Stepanova digging.
Now you see the difference. That middle was able to put a set only close enough to the 10-foot line. Here comes Wickstrom.
For Walsh. And the block this time from Walsh.
What a nice read. I don't know if you saw it, but most blockers watch the ball. She takes her eye off the ball, watches the hitter, sees the hitter hitting line, and reaches that way, reaches to her right. Nicely executed. She's got her team within 1.
Boy, at 6'5", with the 7-foot net, she barely has to leave the floor to get some coverage. So when she does get up, even better for Elise.
And that's why it's so important for a blocker to not just be looking up at the ball, but be looking at the hitter. The hitter will give you cues as to where she wants to take the ball.
Good peripheral vision, and a 9-2 run for Florida State. Down 1 to Purdue in our Minneapolis regional. The winner will face the winner of the Iowa State-Minnesota match. That's coming up next on the home court for the Golden Gophers. The final will be Saturday at 9:30 Eastern on ESPNU. All 4 of the regional finals coming your way tomorrow on ESPNU starting at 4:30 in the afternoon. And there is Minnesota looking on. It's been a roller coaster ride for the Golden Gophers. They have the most losses, 11, of any of the teams seeded in the tournament, but 2 of their wins, Karch, happen to be against the top seed in the tournament, Texas, early in the year.
Right here on this floor. A lot of people talk about how scary Minnesota is, and we saw both of them last weekend against Washington. The bad Minnesota, the evil twin, the first 2 games. But the good twin is really, really good. The question is what Minnesota shows up, because they've been probably the most inconsistent team that is remaining in this NCAA tournament. But they put a scare into every opposing coach, and losing sleep over that.
Incredibly talented bunch. On the overpass, Florida ties it up. Terrific comeback by the Seminoles.
Stepanova trying to drop that ball in short and screw up the opposing offensive pattern. Drops it in short again. Nice dig by Mosher.
Chance here for Florida State to take the lead. They'll go to Walsh, stuffed. The libero with the set. And a misfire in the middle. Looking to the freshman, Kiera Jones, and now it's set point, Seminoles.
Yeah, Purdue is in a tough spot because Ariel Turner is in the back row. They'll have to set her in the middle of the court if they want to try and get her the ball, and it might be right here.
Off of a tough pass, Stepanova out of the back, off speed, got it. Florida State erases an 8-point deficit. Comes roaring back to take the opener in a bit of a stunner against Purdue. The 5 seed falls in the first.
Stepanova was such a nice choice. We saw her get impatient earlier, hitting out, but this time working it short, finding the open spot in the court and winning her team set number 1.
Back inside the sports pavilion, and stunning turnaround for Florida State as they erase an 8-point deficit and they take the opener 25-23. Beth Mullins, along with 3-time national champion from UCLA, Karch Karai, and quite a turnaround for Florida State here in this first set.
It sure was. They were reeling, but then they got their block going, ended up with 5 blocks over 0 by Purdue. And Turner took a ton of swings. She already has 22 attempts. And Purdue just relying a little too much on Turner offensively. They need more production out of their middles, out of Fisher and Jones in the middle, and out of Rybarczyk on the right side. But Walsh also 4 kills. She's hitting almost 400, 0 errors. They're giving her the ball and she's producing. But a lot of poise by that Florida State team. That's one of the things the opposing coach Shondell said. They've got some foreign experience. They're not going to go down easy, and they sure didn't in that one.
That 12-2 run when it looked like Purdue had the first set in hand. Good decision by Kate Mosher, the libero, pushing it deep.
Wow, I saw that. That ball should never, ever, ever fall. If you're watching the right things, which clearly Purdue wasn't. I saw her do that once or twice on tape last weekend in that comeback against Cincinnati. But she is clearly facing that corner, and Purdue just scrambling to get back in position and obviously not watching the right things.
Using the block, Catherine Rybarczyk, point Purdue. She was spectacular in their Louisville match in the second round. Did not have an error. 10 kills on 14 swings. And some great defense on Lola Arlinsbekova, the Big East Player of the Year. She was shut down. 5 kills now for Ashley Neff for Florida State. More good defense from the Noles.
Good read that time by Purdue. They're not going to let that shot fall. And you can see Turner talking to her teammates after the last couple of plays. Coach Shondell has said before, she really takes responsibility, takes this team on her shoulder at times, and after losing that first set, she's turning it up a notch, and especially in terms of the leadership and how vocal she's being.
Point Purdue. Boilermakers in the midst of their best season since the mid-'80s. Got to go back to 1985 since they won 30 matches, which is what they can do if they get a win here tonight. And a terrific turnaround under Dave Shondell, who came from the local high school and club ranks. It was so well respected in Indiana, he was the right man for the job. Walsh tries to go cross court with it, missed it wide.
Trying to help his team make some adjustments on the block and taking more. Nice serve there by Fox.
The ace for Hillary Fox.
You always want to stress the opposing passers by hitting a sideline, hitting it close to the end line, and that time going for too much. Again, after scoring a couple, you want to make the opposing team work its way out of trouble. She didn't do that there.
Saria Freeman to serve for Florida State. 6'4" junior out of Fresno, California. Look at a Turner, and she's blocked. Had a couple up front, including Freeman.
You see how that set drifted way off, and so Turner's jumping from about 8 feet back. She's expecting that set to go a little closer. That'll put her in a better position. That also off the net. That's to the 10-foot line. That's a tough one for Turner to put away.
Some passing issues right now for Purdue. And over the line violation on the Boilermakers. Point Florida State.
Purdue uses kind of a two-passer formation a lot. So most of the responsibility is with their libero number 4. And sometimes when you have to cover that much court, you just end up putting it too close to the net where the setter can't work with it.
Solo block, Tiffany Fisher. All Big Ten first team performer. That ends the 4-0 run for Florida State.
A very stoic look on her face after that block. I think I'd be a little more excited about it in the 3rd round of the NCAA tournament if I get a stuff and help my team score a point.
I think, though, Karch, perhaps an indication of a little frustration right now on the Purdue side, particularly from Turner, who she's got 29 swings already with just 6 kills and 5 errors. They have not been able to get her rolling.
Yeah, and when that's happening, they're going to have to get the ball to Fisher just like that. But now Fisher can't get the ball to the floor either. Nice defense by number 2, Katie Mosher, the libero for Florida State.
Instead, it's the 12 seed playing with much more composure, and another point for Elise Walsh. That's her 5th kill already. Super defense from Mosher, the libero.
Yeah, first she comes up with the dig, hitting the floor there, and then she was the one who made that set that Walsh put away. So contributing to her team in multiple ways.
Stepping over out of the back, put some spin on it. They'll go back outside to Val Nickel with Turner in the back row. Point Purdue, that's her 3rd kill.
And remember, Nichols, a converted setter, but the coach said she's good at a lot of things, not great at anything, but she's really been helping her team out as a front row outside hitter. And that, I like the choice on that last one to mix it up, hit the off-speed shot.
Long on that swing, point FSU. Long on the serve. Point Purdue. 9-8 Florida State. Point Boilermakers.
Florida State with the hitting error there, but they got a nice pass. They're getting a lot of what we call in-system offense. Let's see if That's not so nice a pass. So now they're scrambling just to put the ball over the net anywhere. And the block touches the net.
Point Florida State.
Florida State.
Emily Ehlers come on, defensive specialist for Purdue, with Dushlar back to serve. The junior from Turkey. She was a starter for them as a freshman a couple years ago when they made it to the Elite Eight. There has been an ACC team in the Elite Eight the last 2 years. Duke was there last season. But there has not been an ACC team to get to the national semis. They missed the 31st year of the tournament. It's a conference that's been making some strides of late. FSU in transition and stuffed up front. Kiara Jones.
And good help by number 17, the opposite Rybarczyk. So you see two blockers, number 17 to the right of your screen there, jumping in to help out. Always nice when you can get four hands in front of opposing middle hitters.
Turner. The tip around the block.
Remember, Coach Shondell talked about how she's an engineering student, and she kind of is very analytical about the game. Turner that time finding yet another way to notch a kill, which she's going to have to do, having been pretty ineffective so far, to mix it up with the tip.
She's got 8 kills, Coach, but she's hitting under 100. Point Boilermakers.
We've really seen the block for Purdue come alive here with some better serving, getting Florida State out of its offense, notching another stuff block for a point.
4 unanswered points for the Boilermakers and a 3-point lead. Welcome back to the Minneapolis Regional. Florida State a comeback in the first set to take the opener from Purdue. The Boilermakers up in the second. The big news, though, tonight, coming out of the Lexington Regional, and the 4-time defending national champions from State College have been eliminated. UCLA, the 3-0 sweep of Penn State tonight. And the 4 straight championships, the 26 NCAA tournament wins in a row. They haven't lost in the postseason since December of 2006. And the run comes to an end tonight.
No student athlete on that team even knew what it was like to lose, to end your season with a loss.
Congratulations to Mike Sealy and the Bruins. They move on with either Texas or Kentucky in the regional final tomorrow night. But Kurt, you and I have been there for much of that. In fact, all of that tremendous run by Russ Rose and the Nittany Lions, and saw some unbelievable things over the last 4 years.
Especially a couple of years ago when no team had ever won 3 championships in a row, and Penn State falls down 2-0 in the final to a very strong Texas team with superstars like Alicia Glass and Megan Hodge, and they come back and win it 15-13 in the 5th, one of the all-time great finals, to win their 3rd in a row. Went on, of course, to win a 4th last year.
Yeah, the only folks happier than UCLA right now might be Texas coach Jared Elliott. It's been a nightmare facing Penn State over the last 4 years. He's glad they're gone. And a possibility that Texas, the overall #1 seed in the tournament, could finally break through and win the title. They got one under Mick Haley back in the 80s.
Yeah, a lot of people expected Penn State last year with a converted DS, defensive specialist, running the offense at setter. Expected Texas to give them a hard time, but Penn State put them on their heels and blew Texas out in that semifinal. Went on to win the 4th against Cal.
Big win as well for the Pac-12 conference. They got beat up through the first couple of rounds. UCLA and USC still alive. And for the Big Ten, 8 teams into the tournament. They have 5 remaining, including the 2 here tonight. Minnesota coming up later against Iowa State. 9 kills now for Ariel Turner.
She has definitely turned up the volume here. She put the tip away, so she gets the defense leaning in, playing forward, and then unleashes the cannon on that last one. Too hard to control.
She might need some more tape on that shoulder. You see the trainer's tape on that right shoulder for Ariel Turner. She averages almost 50 swings per match. And she's already at 35 attacks tonight.
Yeah, she's working up on 1,700 swings this season. That's just the matches. Now what about all the practice in August, September, October, November? And no wonder I'm surprised her whole body isn't taped up, let alone the shoulder.
Strong serve again from Hillary Fox, and it's a timeout. Florida State. They were down 8 in the first set and then rallied to come back and win it. Noles are down 4 here in the second. (17-13) in this second set. Purdue with the lead over Florida State, but the Noles have the 1-0 advantage overall. Ariel Turner, as we anticipated, getting plenty of work. She's got 9 kills for Purdue. Ashley Neff, 5 kills on 8 swings. The middle very effective for Florida State as Stepanova, the senior from Latvia, gets the kill. That is her 4th.
And Purdue, after going 0 blocks, stuffs in the first game, now has 3 to just 2 for Florida State. Definitely shored up the blocking to lead to some easy points. And that's a well-run play to Fisher. Also got to spread the court out from what they call pin to pin, from antenna to antenna or sideline to sideline. There she hits the gaping hole between those 2 blockers. And when she takes that one-footed approach, she flies through the air laterally and creates that space.
We're starting to see too, Karch, as Freeman gets the kill. Both sides are having to find another option than their #1 outside hitters, because both Turner and Stepanova are flirting around the 100 hitting percentage mark, and the defense is making it very tough on those two. Of course, you'd love to be around 300. It's like a batting average.
Yeah, and both those hitters that you mentioned are hitting in the high 200s for the season, so they're less than half as effective as their average for the season. So teammates will have to pick it up on both sides of the net.
Wickstrom, the setter here in the 6-2 attack for Florida State, sets up the kill.
And that's another way that you can create space. You saw #9 there, Djurdjevic, actually running. Normally she hits close to the sideline, but that time she came well into the court. Got herself a one-on-one block.
We're seeing her versatility. Vishna Djurdjevic, she's doing a little bit of everything for this Florida State team.
Not a good pass there by Turner.
Nickel takes a run at it. Knocked over by Blair Bashan. Stepanova again, long. Point Purdue.
We saw her, Stepanova, have a lot more success when she doesn't hit it quite so hard out of the back row. She had the roll shot to win the first set, the first game, but that time going for the glory and hitting it out by a couple of feet.
Well executed by Florida State. Point for Freeman. She's 4 of 8 tonight, Karch, in her swings.
Yeah, she's a little hard to stop, too, because she jumped so well off that one leg that she's got a lot of options. That time, she hit it back to her left, wide open for an easy kill.
Another good serve gets Purdue out of its system a little bit.
It sure did. That serve gives Purdue in that rotation a lot of trouble. That short serve to the middle of the court.
Davis able to scoop it up. Free ball, Florida State. The libero will set. And the kill for Djurdjevic. That's her 5th. Two-time All-American from her days at Tulane, where she was also the Conference USA Player of the Year one season. And hasn't slowed down a bit in Tallahassee, a member of the All-Regional team, which makes her eligible for All-America honors again this year. Turner swooping in from the back. 11 kills for Ariel.
Yeah, Purdue opts not to even use one of their 3 front court hitters there, #6, Emily Ehlers, and they just use out of the back row instead, Ariel Turner. Nice up by Dasha.
Turner against a couple of much taller blockers. Bashan brings it back in. Good execution again, played deep by Dushjalard.
That's why you don't want to give the ball over short to Florida State. That's twice now that their players have decided to just shoot it right back into wide open space over the heads of Purdue.
Purdue lost a big lead in the first set. Will they squander another one here in the second?
Nice up.
Miss Djurdjevic again. Stepping over, can't find the floor.
Uh-oh,
long
trouble.
way to go for Turner. A couple of back sets that she is not able to get a good swing at.
You are right, but Turner doing a great job just to keep it alive.
Yep.
Oh,
That was wrong in a lot of different levels for Purdue that entire possession.
it sure was. They were at a disadvantage the whole way thanks to less than stellar ball control.
Once again, Florida State, despite falling behind, showing the moxie to come back. And after winning the first set, they are close again in the second. We've got FCS quarterfinal football action. The playoffs coming your way Saturday at noon on ESPN, Montana State and Sam Houston State. And then the volleyball championships continue with regional final action starting at 4:30 Eastern on ESPNU. For more information, visit NCAA.com, your home for all 89 NCAA championships. That 4:30 matchup will not feature Penn State, by the way. The four-time champs have been eliminated tonight as we check out Ariel Turner.
And she is getting so many swings. That's the result of a couple of things. Number one, when the other team serves, they're not controlling it particularly well, so she ends up being the only option. So both the good news and the bad news is she's taking a lot of swings. At least she's notching some blocks also, but Purdue has to control the ball better so they're not forced into having Turner as the only option. When she is, we saw some sets that were well off the net, too close to the net. She's making good choices in just keeping the ball alive, but they've got to put her in a better position. Look, 41 swings from her versus the player who also plays left side for Purdue, Nickel, at 13. So Turner, you take her 10 kills, subtract the 5 errors, and she's hitting at 122 right now out of 41 swings. About half her efficiency this season of around 250.
Florida State serving in the garnet and gold. Turner gets another swing out of the timeout. Stepping over. Off the tape and misses at point Purdue.
So you look at the front line for Purdue, they've got a couple other nice options now. They've got Fisher and Rabarchek, and so maybe they try not to go to Turner so much if they can control the ball here and get it up in the air like this. That time they have to go to Turner. She's the only option with that dig, but a good choice to hit the line around that end blocker.
Emily Ehlers, their defensive specialist with the set there. One of the U6ers, as they call themselves. They've got several players that are sub 6 feet, but instrumental to their success defensively. Here is Ehlers at 5'9", the senior from Mishawaka, Indiana. Back set for Rachel Morgan.
There's a better set for Turner to work with. And a better one still. So she earns them back a free ball, and now they can set somewhere else.
And they get the kill, Rabarchik.
So you talked a couple of plays ago, Purdue was at a disadvantage the whole rally. That time, the rally it just became, as it went on, more and more to Purdue's advantage as they got a better set, and finally one that they could get the kill on.
And now a set point. Turner will try and end it. Back row Djurdjevic. Back to Turner again.
Not a very good set there. That one went about 11 feet off the net. That's a tough one for Turner to work with. And the reason that went back is because the setter, number 6 there, Emily Ehlers, was not squared up to her target. You want to face your shoulders right where you want to set the ball.
And that is the kill to end the set. Purdue evens up the match, 25-21. Ariel Turner with nearly 50 swings through the first 2 sets. She's got 11 kills and is hitting just 102, but her team has tied it up.
Some fans were joking that she was going to have to take 100 swings in 2 matches. She might get 100 swings in 4 games tonight, which they're going.
Inside the Sports Pavilion here in Minneapolis, we are all even at 1 set apiece, so now it becomes best 2 out of 3 to determine who moves on to the regional final coming up here tomorrow night. Beth Mullins, along with 3-time national champion at UCLA, Karch Karai, and Purdue, after squandering the lead in the first set, Karch able to hold on to it and play better down the stretch in the second.
But I think they got to be happy at the 1-1 here. They're only hitting 133 efficiency-wise, and their big gun, Ariel Turner, half her normal efficiency, having taken a huge amount of swings, about 50 swings tonight so far. When she's been able to put it to the floor, it's by not swinging to her normal hard cross-court area, but she's mixing it in and chipping it around the block, tipping. On the other side of the net, of course, the impact player that we talked about up front was Stepanova, Kate Stepanova, and she's only got 4 kills, but teammates on both sides of the net are having to continually pick it up here because those 2 have been neutralized. That was each team's focus, was to neutralize Stepanova. Purdue wanted to. And on the other side of the net, of course, Florida State wanted to neutralize Turner. They've been successful in that, so now you go to plan B.
Purdue better physically at the net in that second set. After they were outblocked 5-zip in the opener, they were even in that second set. And as you touched upon in that first game, Karch, some digs records might be broken here tonight. The defenses on both sides of the net have been terrific.
Far, far above their season averages. 54 for Florida State, 55 for Purdue. So that's over 25 per set. They're averaging about 15 per set. So clearly, the 2 coaching staffs, with a week to prepare, have taught their athletes where the opposing hitters hit. We're taking those tendencies away, and it is just tough to put the ball away for both teams tonight.
Into the net for Vishna Djurdjevic.
All the more reason to serve over the net and in the court when it's so tough to put the ball away. You hate to give up a freebie like that. Serve it into the net, and it's an automatic point for Purdue. Mistake that time by Djurdjevic. And Purdue returns
there you go.
the favor. It's not Christmas yet, but it might be here tonight.
There's been some gifts given out, however.
That's for sure.
Turner off the block. Ariel Turner, the 6'1" junior out of Highlands Ranch, Colorado. The Big Ten Player of the Year, the first for Purdue since Marianne Smith garnered the honor in 1985. She's got a dozen kills now on the night.
And what progress she has. She wasn't even all Big Ten in any category last year. You go from that to Big Ten Player of the Year. That is amazing progress. And she still, of course, has another year to go as a junior.
11 kills on 50 swings. My arm's sore from watching. She might have to start hitting left.
And we talked about her being a junior. Coach Shondell said, hey, the Big Ten, as strong as it was, #1 RPI conference in the country, is going to be 20% better this year, next year. You look at all the underclassmen that they had playing, Penn State with freshmen and sophomores and people like Turner who are going to be coming back. It's going to be a tough conference, even tougher.
We are seeing so much more parity in college volleyball in recent years, with the lone exception, of course, being in the championship match. It's been dominated by Penn State, but they were eliminated tonight, got swept by UCLA, so the run of 4 straight has come to an end, and we continue to see seeded teams or some favorites falter.
And the conference that's won the most titles is the Pac-10, but they're in the longest drought they've ever had, 13 titles, but have not won since '05 when Washington won in San Antonio, where you and I and the whole production team here get to head for next week's great championship semis and finals.
Hopefully we'll be able to pack a pair of shorts for that trip.
Yeah.
It's a balmy 13 tonight in Minneapolis.
Can't say I packed any trunks for this trip.
Florida State probably not accustomed to this kind of weather either. But the Noles are up here in the third, 6-4. They're in the garnet and gold. Purdue, the higher seed, the 5 seed overall. They're in the white. Our second match tonight, the home team, Minnesota, and the 4 seed, the team you would consider to be the favorite in this regional, Iowa State. And a timeout called by Purdue, courtesy of a 5-0 Seminole run. 7-4 Florida State here early in the third. We are even at 1 set apiece. The winner moves on to the Elite Eight, the regional final coming up tomorrow night. Now there's a look at our bracket. Iowa State, Minnesota to follow us on ESPN3 at 8 Eastern. Our final will be tomorrow night at 9:30. It's quadruple Saturday on ESPNU with all 4 regional finals, starting out in Lexington, Kentucky, where it will not be Penn State vying for a spot in the national semis. The Nittany Lions eliminated today, so UCLA advances. They'll face either Texas or Kentucky to open up our big day tomorrow.
And you can see the setter for Purdue, Rachel Davis, continually trying to get her other options going. In that case, on your screen there, number 18, Tiffany Fisher, hitting behind the setter, what's called a slide attack off one leg. Successful, and they want to keep using that if they can. But they have to control the serves of Florida State.
Illinois, by the way, also a winner in the other early game tonight over Ohio State. So the 3 seed has advanced in that Gainesville regional. And I think probably, Karch, the most anticipated match of the day will be that Hawaii-USC match coming up late night tonight on ESPN3 at midnight Eastern.
Yeah, probably not much energy in the gym in Hawaii. Only about 10,000 people who are going to be screaming for an upset. And that was one of the controversial aspects of this tournament. Going in, USC, the #1 ranked team in the coaches poll, and Hawaii, the #3 ranked team, and they get the 7 seed and the 10 seed and play on Hawaii's home floor. That's USC's reward for winning the tough Pac-12 conference.
And the 2 seed Nebraska was also in that regional. They would have been out there had Kansas State not pulled off the biggest stunner so far of the tournament. But that Hawaii regional showing a lot of discrepancies between what the coaches thought and what the selection committee ended up seeding and bracketing.
Yep, right. And numbers 1, 2, and 3 all in the same bracket in terms of coaches ranking.
Soria Freeman with a nice play at the net. She's got 5 kills, and Florida State is in front. They're hitting .600 in this third set. Purdue, by the way, has already had the same amount of errors in this set than they did the entire second set.
Yeah, Purdue having some troubles controlling those serves coming over the net. They've got to put those on the setter's head. That's a good pass from which to run your offense. Florida State with another kill that should not fall. If you've got a good libero back there and a good defensive player, and right over their head, killing into the corner. Bump, using your forearms to put that back over. That's 3 times now Purdue been burned by that.
And Karch, is that the defensive specialist getting a little too close to the net?
They're just not watching the right things. They got to start in a better position and then see the play developing, and clearly she meant to put that in the back corner.
Off the block. Nope, did not get the touch. Point Florida State. Knowles, the 12 seed with a 26-6 record. The champions of the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Dushchalar was on another one of those serving strings, those runs of points, but lets Purdue off the hook after a 12-8 lead. Keep an eye on that as this progresses. That's a nice 4-point lead that they could have extended.
Ariel Turner gets it down. 13 kills for Turner on 53 attempts.
That's her preferred shot. You can see here all the way she's coming inside, but the block of Florida State was set up too far out. If the ball goes inside, the block's got to step inside.
They're going to get Neff quickly in the middle, and they do. Point Florida State.
Back to serve, number 9, Misha.
Djurjevic to serve into the net.
Another serving error. That's at least 3 this set alone for Florida State.
Look at the attempts for Purdue. Turner with 53. The rest of the team at 70. They are riding her right arm right now. They get the block, point Purdue. Strong serve.
Yep. Creates a scoring opportunity for Purdue here.
And they get one. Tiffany Fisher off the block. Strong serve from Rabarczyk. They get the point. It's a 5-1 run for Purdue to even this one up. Fisher off of Stepanova for the kill. Tied at 13 here in the third set. And the winner of this one gets a leg up in the match. We're all even at 1 apiece. Minneapolis Regional Semifinal. The winner will face either Minnesota or Iowa State. That's our second match coming up later. Busy day here on ESPN3. And tomorrow, all 4 regional finals on ESPNU.
So watch the setter this time, Dushchalar. She is clearly facing right there. She's facing that corner. That's the giveaway. If you don't see it, if you're not looking at her, you're not going to get that ball up. But that's now 4 times Purdue's been burned by what should be an easy defensive play. It's not that she's jumping and attacking. She's just standing on the ground. The ball's in the air a long time when you have to stand on the ground like that.
Purdue comes back, gets a kill. Ariel Turner serves. Dushchalar looking for Stepanova. Got it through the block. And the kill for the Seminoles. That's her 7th.
That's a nice set there. They run this pattern pretty quickly, so there's a gap in the block to attack. And clearly, number 3, Kate Stepanova, likes to run a faster offense and come barreling in. Easier to time. And another hit on one. And another one.
Into the antenna, I think, is the call down the line against Florida State.
Back in the match for the Boilermakers, number 12, Kieran Jones. Back to serve is number 18, Tiffany Fisher.
Trying to figure out at what point during that rally the ball touched the antenna, which it cannot do when it crosses from one side to the other.
Quick set to Freeman for the kill. Let's check that last play by the antenna.
So did it touch there?
Yep.
right off the block.
He's looking for Nickel. Gets the kill.
And you can see number 22, the middle blocker for Florida State. She got a nice touch on that. She turned around and was like, come on, defense, pursue, pursue. I finally touched one of her swings. But they couldn't track it down. Went too far beyond the end line.
Wickstrom, and a nice back set for Welch. After the initial problems with the two different setters in that first set, Karch, we haven't been mentioning it quite as much since.
No, I don't think it has been hurting Florida State to run. It certainly is. That's one of the challenges of a two-setter offense. It's like a two-quarterback offense. Each quarterback only gets half the touches, half the reps, and hitters have to time but the rhythm of both those setters, so it makes it more of a challenge. But there are advantages too, and Florida State has opted, clearly successfully, to go with the two-setter strategy. Less rhythm, but more strength at the net, and an ACC championship, and here they are in great shape against the number 5 seed in the tournament.
And they've utilized their size advantage. They've outblocked Purdue thus far, and add another one. It's now 10-4 blocks at the net.
And that was the advantage they rode in the first set, a 5-0 advantage, and now here, that's what's called a commit block, nicely executed by Saria Freeman, where she just said, I'm going to jump with this hitter and go one-on-one. And kind of woman-on-woman coverage there. And so that was a successful block, that play before.
Stayed up by 2. Service error, point Seminoles. There's the switch now of the setters, and also Freeman in the middle heading out. Duschlar comes on. The new setter will serve it up.
And she's been putting Purdue in some trouble with her serve. See if she's not on that one, though. So Purdue running its total in-system offense. You know, to me, it looked like Rybarczyk's right in that complaint. It looked as though it touched the middle blocker, number 14, Ashley Neff for Florida State, just slightly. But the area where the two lines people are right now, they don't have a good angle on that in those particular corners. That's a tough one to see. If you had 4 lines people here, tough to see, but from where we were sitting, it looked like it touched the right forearm of the blocker there. But you can see on the left, the lines person really doesn't have a great view on that. Neither does in this 2 lines person formation.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Saria Freeman here. She's making a difference, making a big impact for Florida State in this third set. She's got 8 kills. She's hitting .429 and blocking well.
She sure is. Involved in 5 stuffed blocks for her team. What a nice save on that one there. That wasn't the kind of set she really wants. But in this offense, Florida State going for more blocking as they take their setters who don't play any front row, take their setters out and put in middle blockers instead. And so Freeman and also Ashley Neff, who's averaging even a higher number of blocks per set than number 22 Freeman. That pair has been very productive for this team throughout the season.
Freeman with 4 kills through the first 2 sets, and now 4 more here in the third.
Yeah, and if they get the kind of blocking out of her, they've got to be very happy, because her forte is really offense, as Coach Poole said. If they get the block, it's just gravy, bonus, and that's what they've been getting, and that's why they're in great position here to go up 2 sets to 1 in a critical match.
Let's see if they can, Purdue can take advantage of Freeman being out right now off of that front line. Davis goes to Rybarczyk, dug up by Stepanova. Back to Stepanova.
Nice up by Mosher.
She's made some big-time plays for them, and then the kill from Kiera Jones, the all-Big Ten rookie team member this season. It's her 6th kill.
So that was a rally where Purdue had the advantage the whole time. Florida State was scrambling and never did get a dig on which they could get a good swing. Now it's their turn to run the offense.
Been real impressed with Djordjevic tonight. She's doing a little bit of everything and doing it real well.
Just as Coach Poole said, she's the heart of this team, been producing a lot offensively. One of their real ball control and savvy players. As the opposing coach Shondell said, they've got a very savvy team. A lot of experience. They're going to keep their poise.
6 kills and 16 digs. Could not get to that one. Fisher with the kill.
And that time, that play is so fast that there is no time for the middle blocker for Florida State to get over. One-on-one situation. We saw Rybarczyk score a lot on her serve last time. Here's another scoring opportunity for Purdue.
Basham was able to keep it alive, and a stuff at the net. Ashley Neff gets another one. They're 2 points away from the set.
Yep, watch. Neff wants to get her hands across the net, and she does. That wasn't the optimum set, but Turner's probably got to hit it a little higher. That barely crossed the net, and you got to watch out for any middle blocker who not just blocks like that. Good read there by Neff.
Walsh blocked. Duchelar goes back to Walsh, only one blocker up. Florida State wanted a lift there. Back to Walsh again, off the block. Set point, Seminoles.
Well, that time it was Walsh all the way. 3 straight swings. It shows you what kind of confidence Duchelar has in her.
Shanked out of bounds, point Purdue.
Kill number 8, Ariel Turner from Purdue. Back to match point Purdue number 2. Back to serve is number 8, Ariel Turner.
Another set point.
See if they go to Walsh again.
They do, and she delivers.
Florida State wins set number 3.
Florida State, the 12 seed, on the verge of bouncing the 5 seed. 1 set away from the match and a berth in the regional final, and Elise Walsh leading the charge. In downtown Minneapolis, and we are over at the Sports Pavilion getting set for the 4th set. If Florida State wins it, Florida State advances to the regional final, trying to pull off the upset of the 5 seed Purdue. Beth Mowins along with Karch Karai, and Karch, well-balanced attack tonight for Florida State.
9 players from Florida State with kills, and not a single one of them in double-digit kills. So they're relying and spreading it out a lot more. That puts opponents off balance. They can't key on any one athlete, as they've been able to on Turner. Putting up a lot of good blocks, and what they're doing is they're putting their hands across the net. You don't want to reach high in volleyball as a blocker. You want to reach across the net, as far into opponent's airspace as possible. Of course, we saw late the ball going to Walsh, and she's being very effective as a right side hitter for Florida State.
Led by Walsh and Freeman at 6'5" and 6'4". They have a distinct height advantage over this Purdue side, and they are utilizing it, out blocking the Boilermakers tonight, 11-4, point Purdue.
And that's what Purdue has to do right there. If they want to go on to win this match, they've got to get Rybarczyk going. They've got to get Fisher and Turner going behind the setter on the other sideline away from Turner to spread that block out. Good shot by Djordjevic there to get her team back a good swing. Now advantage to Purdue with a good set.
Turner stuffed.
Now advantage to Florida State. They got a free ball.
Turner waving off a couple of teammates to get a swing. Back to Florida State's advantage.
So Florida State should get another free ball back here.
And this time Neff puts it down. Point Seminoles.
You can see how the advantage during that one rally swung back and forth. The better swing you have, the more advantage you have on your side of the net. But if you're scrambling on defense, you're probably going to have to give it back easy.
Will Purdue go a lot more to Turner in this set? She had 22 and 27 attempts in the first couple of sets. She only had 8 swings that entire third set.
Yeah, they definitely ratcheted down the offense her way, but now that they're down 2-1, she's been their bread and butter. They've probably got to think about going to her while still spreading it out and trying to hit both sidelines.
Stepping over into the block. Djurjevic out of the back. Grabarczyk thought she had a touch.
No call. Let's see another angle there. That trajectory likely out. Good pass that time by Ehlers.
Point Florida State. Dave Shondell not seeing the same thing that the officials are seeing. On the overpass, point Florida State.
And so although Ehlers had a good pass a couple of touches ago, that one goes right over Purdue using its 2-passer formation. This one also not in an optimum spot to run the offense, so it has to go to Turner. She made up for it that time, but it wasn't any surprise that the ball went to her. Florida State was able to set up pretty good defense against her.
15 kills now for Ariel Turner on 7 errors as well. She's hitting a .131. 4-3 Seminoles. Walsh missed it long. Point Purdue. She's one of those players got a different sound when she hits it. She puts some heat on it, as Chris Poole likes to say.
Yeah, or another way we describe it is hits a heavy ball. It comes on you, and all of a sudden it's going way farther than you thought as it ricochets off your arms.
Stepping over gets the kill. She's got 8.
Yeah, what a nice recovery there. That was not a very good set, but she dealt with it, kept it in the court. And Purdue unable to respond, unable to see her break out that left hand. Another poor pass from Ehlers.
Serve-receive an issue here in this set for Purdue. Davis, long way to go to get it to Turner. Block had plenty of time to meet her there.
Oh.
Punched back over by Purdue and sent down the line by Florida State for the kill.
Well, apparently Purdue's not going to learn its lesson if you put the ball over and it's anywhere near the net. See, somebody's got to get, Ehlers got to get up right there off the floor and know that it could come right back over the net.
The ace for Wickstrom. The freshman gaining confidence over the course of the season, playing in this 6-2 offense.
Yeah, give her a lot of credit. She wasn't even planning on playing this season. In August, she thought she was going to be a redshirt.
Garnet shirt instead, and Florida State happy about it.
Yep, their senior setter. What a nice cover there by Ehlers.
Turner on the overpass, point Purdue.
Florida State senior setter had some back problems. The plan was not for Wickstrom to play this season, but she just kept developing and they kept winning. Found a winning formula with this second setter to play opposite Duschler.
Freeman. Nico tried to find the corner. Set and the cross-court shot from Fisher.
That was a nice choice by Davis there. She could have attacked, but instead she sets her middle hitter, Tiffany Fisher, for the easy kill one-on-one.
A dozen kills for Fisher.
That's one of the real challenges if you're a setter. You know, if you're a quarterback, you get to look at the defense. But if you're a setter, you're looking at your own team. The defense is almost at your back, especially when you set blind behind. And you have to deliver the ball in really good spots. It's a very challenging position.
Just like that one from Wickstrom to Elise Walsh. 10 kills now for Elise.
Exactly. Well placed. A blind set behind the setter. And the other thing that makes it a challenge is the quicker you try to turn and look at what you just delivered, the worse you're going to be because you're going to be setting while turning.
Good blocks on both sides. Davis linking up again with Tiffany Fisher.
So we see both setters working the sideline behind their back. And Fisher scoring again. We saw her score earlier. Walsh on the other side of the net.
Overpass.
Another errant pass, and now Purdue with the advantage. And still with the advantage.
Davis looking for Val Nickel. Walsh tiptoeing it down the net and out wide. Point Purdue. The ace on the serve from Fisher.
And that was a heat seeker. Probably want to cool her off with a timeout, and that's exactly what Coach Chris Poole's doing.
10-9 in a must-win fourth set for the Boilermakers. Ten to 8 Purdue with the lead over Florida State here in the fourth, but the Seminoles leading the Boilermakers 2-1 and looking to close out the match here in the fourth. We are in the Minneapolis Regional. In the Gainesville Regional tonight, Illinois, the 3 seed, a winner over Ohio State. They await the winner of the second match there, Michigan and Florida. Michigan and Florida just getting underway. That guarantees an unseeded team in the regional final. An unseeded team has only advanced to the national semis on one occasion. That was Santa Clara, and that was in the Alamo Dome, which is where this year's semifinals will be. That was back in the 05 season.
And to me, it almost seems like Florida's playing better, looser, and enjoying the underdog role more this year than the #1 seed of the whole tournament last year.
Yeah, that group, Krista Jekyll, Kelly Murphy, they've had some ups and downs over the course of their careers. If it is Florida, Illinois, by the way, one of the Illini's top players is Colleen Ward, a Florida transfer. Make for an intriguing evening at the O'Connell Center.
Yeah, she and Murphy played together in juniors a lot, and they went as a package to Florida, but eventually Ward deciding to play at Illinois.
Djurdjevic gets the kill, point Florida State. 7 kills and 21 digs tonight for Vishnu.
Yeah, she plays some very good defense in the backcourt there. That's one of the things that's been making Purdue's job so hard and Turner's job so hard in getting putaways is the ball just isn't hitting the floor much when it gets past the Florida State block, and it didn't that time.
Noles are crushing them with the block tonight. Freeman has had a hand in 6 stuffs. More good defense. Mosher able to dig it up. And they go right back to Jones, who makes no doubt about that one.
And what I like about that is that Jones went behind the setter and then in front of his setter. There's the one behind off 1 foot. Now this time she comes in front. By mixing it up, she confuses the blocker, number 9, across the net, who ends up not even blocking on that play.
Florida State puts that one down. Stepanova with the kill.
Entering the match, number
Now is the rotation for Florida State where they switch setters, and Freeman, who's been their best blocker tonight, rotates out.
Yeah, this is a tough rotation for Purdue because Ehlers is in the front row, but she's not even going to go hit number 6. Instead, Ariel Turner in the backcourt right there is going to attack and often hits cross court.
FSU missed a wide point, Purdue.
Now Ehlers goes to the backcourt and goes and serves and plays her normal DS role, defensive specialist.
Neff with the kill.
Well, that's a tough play. Bashan does a lot of nice things for Purdue. She did everything right except the contact. She put herself in a great position to make that defensive play, that dig, but do not put the ball 6 inches over. Neff's going to win that every time. She's unopposed since Purdue's setter is in the backcourt.
Neff now in double digits. She's got 10 kills. Trying to cover the tip. Rybarczyk gets it down.
That is a good change of velocity there for Rybarczyk. She's going to open things up for herself if she can tip and roll shot and off speed a little more, then go back to the hard-driven ball.
Third player in the double digits. She's got 10 kills. Neff strikes again. Neff hitting .529 in the match. Cross court for the kill from Rybarczyk.
First the tip, then the cross court, seeing the space in the block. Good choices. Now can she score a little, give some breathing room to Purdue off her jump spin serve. Wow, that was a heat seeker there, creating a nice scoring opportunity for Purdue. This is what we call a free ball. Comes over easy, but Florida State defending it well.
Another chance for Purdue. And this time they get it down. Fisher with the kill.
Nice work by Fisher. She makes the pass and then becomes available as the hitter, hits the space, but it all started from the tough serve of Rybarczyk. See if she can do it again. Another scoring opportunity here.
Going to Turner on the outside. Walsh. This plays it across. Turner had to get up off her backside to take a swing at that one. Stepanova bringing it. Point Florida State.
Purdue had some chances, but just couldn't get that hard swing. Turner not in a good position to really put some mustard on it.
10 kills, 20 digs now for Kate.
20 dig nights for both those outsides of Florida State, and they really are showing their volleyball savvy. And there's another dig for their other outside, Djurdjevic.
Bumped over by Davis. Well played by the redshirt sophomore out of Kalamazoo. That's her first kill of the match. You got to figure, if you're Florida State, let's just hang around and make Purdue start feeling a little pressure late in the fourth set here. It's a must-win for the Boilermakers.
Just the opposite of what Purdue was in last year, making Texas awfully uncomfortable in that regional final down in Texas.
Purdue has been so close to a breakthrough to get to the national semis. Last year, they lost in the region final, but along the way, they bounced the top seed in the tournament, the Florida Gators. And certainly the favorite coming in tonight as the 5 seed against the 12 seed, but the Seminoles, they don't know any better. They're playing to win, and they are within one. Elise Walsh, the sophomore from Stuart, Florida, amongst many Noles, bringing their best to the dance tonight. 17-16, Purdue hanging on against Florida State, but the Noles are in front of the match, 2-1. Stepanova, 10 kills, a new career high with 21 digs. Turner has been very busy, 72 swings. She took 81 in a match earlier this year against Illinois.
But both coaches said this week, these are the two players that we have to neutralize. And they have been. One hitting 133, Turner hitting 125. So really it's going to come down to who's the better supporting cast, who can make up for the difference, the loss in production.
Mosher, another good up. Libero solid for Florida State, wearing the gold jersey. Here she is with the set to Walsh. Good solo stuff from Davis.
Oh, that's a volleyball savvy play. Just when Purdue thought Djurdjevic was finally in a position to take a big swing, she lets up and rolls it into the middle of the court. Not only is it easy on the shoulder, but it's nice for the scoreboard.
Ripped by Tiffany Fisher just inside the antenna. Point Purdue. Sports Pavilion in Minneapolis coming up next. Minnesota and Iowa State as Fisher gets the ace.
And remember, she hit that bullet into the corner too. So again, Florida State deciding to cool her off. She's the one that they've been having. Fisher is the one that they've been having so much trouble controlling the serve.
Timeout called by Florida State, so they do not have any left. Purdue has one left. Purdue must win this fourth set. Otherwise, Florida State has the upset and advances. The 4-seed Iowa State on the road at the 13-seed Minnesota here at the Sports Pavilion coming up. And then on ESPNU, all 4 of the regional finals tomorrow starting at 4:30 Eastern. The big story thus far, Penn State, the 4-time defending national champions, eliminated earlier tonight by UCLA. The 2-seed Nebraska has already been eliminated. Texas, the overall #1, playing on the road at Kentucky tonight. And then midnight Eastern, you'll want to be on ESPN3 to watch that highly anticipated Southern California versus Hawaii match in front of about 10,000 people at the Sheriff Center out in Honolulu. So some of the favorites forced to play in hostile territory the way the tournament worked out this year.
Yeah, especially hostile in Hawaii. The #1 team in the nation in terms of attendance, and I'm sure they're going to be well above their average tonight. Standing room only.
Having said that, kudos as well to Kansas State and Michigan. They were road winners against Nebraska and Stanford, knocking those two perennial powers out. Parity continues to rule the day. And the tournament, one of the most wide open in years.
Nice up by the middle blocker there.
Turner stuffed, and yet again it's Freeman alongside Djurdjevic.
2 blockers up. You don't want to leave her one-on-one, and that's a good choice by the left side blocker, #9, Djurdjevic, who gets another block, 2 in a row now on the mistake. Not that tough a serve. The last thing you want to do is put it over the net by a foot. It's much better to keep it off the net by 5 or 6. That time, Purdue in a great position to run its offense, but Jones hits it out. She had a lot of line to hit at, and now Purdue calling timeout. 3 straight points.
How about the turnaround for Chris Poole's club coming out of that timeout with 3 in a row, and now Purdue has to call its final timeout. Florida State 5 points away from the set and the match. In the race to 25, have to win by 2. We've talked a lot today, Karch, about the Florida State balance. They've got 3 players in double digits. Everyone that has played has at least 1 kill.
At least 2 now, yeah.
And defensively, they have held Purdue to a 143 hitting percentage, and Ariel Turner is just 107.
And Purdue on the year hits 266. So clearly, both teams offensively are not going to hit their season averages as you get later in the tournament. You play against better teams, better defenses. But Purdue in particular really struggling to get the ball to the floor. A, because of the strong block of Florida State, and then B, if it gets past that block, Mosher and crew in the backcourt doing a nice job of keeping the ball up in the air.
Plenty of juniors and seniors on that Florida State side of the net. They've shown tremendous composure. And they've been very clever with their shot making tonight.
Mosher still serving for Florida State.
And Kate Mosher has been the defensive star tonight for them.
Not a great pass on what I didn't think was a particularly difficult serve to control. Now Florida State in a free ball situation.
Freeman. Oh, excuse me, it was on the Purdue side, a net violation on Kiara Jones.
Yeah, she touched the net, and that was a huge break for Florida State because it was a total misconnection. It was going to be an easy play for Purdue.
Pass shanked long. The 5 seed Purdue in big trouble here in the fourth.
The savvy of Florida State starting to pull them toward closing out this match.
They don't have any timeouts left, and now Florida State is just a couple of points away from the match. Hillary Fox slow to get up after twisting an ankle. They can't call a timeout, but they can utilize a substitution. And they get Amanda Miller back into the game. Good for Mosher. Another block for Florida State. And now the Seminoles have the match points lined up.
Number 2, Katie Mosher has been served 7 points.
15-5 blocking advantage tonight for Florida State. Nickel. Stepanova ends it. And the upset for the Seminoles. For the third year in a row, the ACC has a team in the Elite Eight. And the quest continues to be the first to get to the national semis. A tough night already for the Big Ten, even though Illinois has advanced. 3 teams eliminated from the conference. Purdue, Penn State, and Ohio State each falling tonight. The 12 seed stays alive.
And that defense that slowed down that offense of Purdue, the 15 blocks, Saria Freeman was involved in 9 of those, had a huge game defensively, was the thing that neutralized what through much of this season had been a very potent offense for Purdue, especially neutralizing Ariel Turner, their big gun.
An impressive finish for Florida State. They score the final 8 points of the match. And they shock the 5 seed. Purdue eliminated, and Florida State is into the regional final for the second time in 3 years. Well, we'll be back here in Minneapolis in about 30 minutes. See if Iowa State can pull off the upset. But they'll have to do it on Minnesota's home court. This has been an exclusive presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Kurt Scry and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Beth Mullins. Stick with us. Minneapolis, our next matchup coming up shortly. Iowa State and Minnesota.